In this video, you're going to learn how to reprogram your brain so you can achieve all of your goals. This system is so powerful. If you apply it, it will literally transform any area of your life. It's going to show you exactly how to achieve anything you set your mind to. Now make sure you stick around to the end of this video because I've got a special announcement to make for anyone who wants to work with me one-on-one in my peak performance program. That being said, let's dive into today's video. So it's all about reprogramming your brain. So the way to look at it is your brain is like a computer, and throughout your life it's been picking up information from your senses and your experiences that you're having, and it's been storing them into your hardware. So we need to be aware that we've stored a lot of experiences and it's created our own framework of who we are. This then leads us to think and act in a certain way, which often isn't serving us. So we need to understand how we've got to where we are and then change things up so that we can get to new goals, new objectives. If you want your life to be more of the same as it was yesterday, the same as it was last year, just keep doing what you're doing. But if you want to reprogram it and get to a higher level and achieve things you haven't achieved before, this is the process. All right, first thing we need to do to get somewhere, we need to start with the end in mind. Tony Robbins is very big on starting with your outcome. Know your outcome first before you start moving forwards. Brendan Burchard, another really good personal development coach, he's got 6 high performance habits. Habit number 1, clarity. So everyone agrees, everyone converges on the topic of clarity is so important. Yet we often skip it, but we need to know exactly where we're going. All right? So the goal, we need to know the goal. We need such clarity. So start with the end in mind. And so many people skip past this. I've done it myself many times, so busy taking action, so excited to get moving, that we don't get crystal clear on what we want. So you need to know what you want and why you want it. Spend a lot of time on creating the vision of who you want to be, where you want to be, what you want your financial life to look like, your relationships, your health, your poker success, everything. Just map out the vision, and the more clear you can get, the better, okay? So know the goal is first. Start with the end in mind. All right. Then we're going to try and come with a path now to getting to your goal. And I'm going to show you the hierarchy of the brain, the hierarchy of actions that you need to be changing in order to get to your goal. So in our kind of program, our program brains, we have at the very core level, we have our identity. This is the deepest level. So this is like dictates who we think we are. Your identity is the I am such and such. I am successful at this. I am, and you basically have a construct of who you are, whether it's a successful poker player, whether it's a family man, whether it's a healthy person, whether it's an unhealthy person. We have an identity that we create for ourselves. And this is really, it's important to know this because everything stems from this. If I think I'm the type of person who does stuff, tries hard, works hard, I'm going to take actions because of that. If I've created an identity of I always fail, nothing ever works for me, it's pointless trying, all of a sudden that's going to impact every action I make. So at the very core level, we've got an identity. Okay, then on top of that layer, so the next layer on top of the identity, which we're going to do arrows this way, isn't it? It's progressing, but you could imagine it as a core shell expanding outwards as well. We then have our beliefs. So these are our beliefs, our convictions of what we think we're capable of. I'm good at this, I'm not good at that. So the identity is the strongest core and the beliefs on top of it. So it's what we think we're capable of. And it's a lens that life's getting filtered through. So if we have an identity of I am a high stakes poker player and I believe in the core of my ability, my being, I believe that I deserve to be there, I've got what it takes. Every single action will stem from that. And I'm going to take action in alignment with that. If I believe, even if I was overweight, but I believe that I get in the best shape of my life, I'm going to find a way to get the best shape of my life. If my identity and beliefs were strong. If I believed I was going to be rich, at all costs I was going to be rich, a millionaire, multi-millionaire, and my identity was strong, my beliefs were strong, I'd find a way to act because these are the strongest. So these things happen in your, I'll go back to this actually, I'll keep going, I'll come back to these two. But from the beliefs, then come the next layer. So we've got identity, our beliefs, and then we have our thoughts. Now stick with me on this process because I'm going through the 5 steps and you'll see exactly how this links to your goals at the end, because the whole process is key for you achieving anything you want in life, and this is the reprogram you go through. So the core level, identity, beliefs, then comes the thoughts. Our beliefs are filtered through a lens. So imagine you've got like some glasses on, your identity is you, the glasses are the beliefs, and then you see through those lenses. That then impacts the thoughts that you have, which then impact your emotions. So beliefs impact thoughts, thoughts impact emotions, and the emotions then impact your actions, okay? And they're going to lead to your goals. So if all these things are in alignment, let's say you decide you want to make 100K by the end of the year, and your identity is, I'm someone who can make 100K, I'm a hardworking person, I've got a real strong identity that I can do that. I believe strongly that I can. I've seen other people do it. Why can't I do it? I know in the format I'm playing or what I'm doing, I know I can achieve it in this avenue. I'm thinking about it non-stop. I'm thinking about how to do it, how I can take action on it, all my thoughts about how to make it happen. My emotions are strong. I'm excited. I'm really pumped up every day. Yes, I'm really looking forward to it. I start taking actions in line with that. I'm waking up at 5 a.m. I'm going to bed at 9 p.m. I'm working hard every day. I'm looking after my mind, my body. I'm studying. I'm grinding. I'm taking action every day. You're going to get to that goal. You might not get to the goal straight away, but you're going to get to that goal because everything's in motion. There's no resistance, okay? There's no resistance. So we've got everything in alignment. Now, the problem lies when these things aren't in alignment. So your identities and beliefs, which have been kind of cultivated without your awareness, these aren't in alignment with your goals. And the problem is, these occur in your subconscious. Okay, so subconscious. And these appear in your conscious. Oh, I spelled that completely wrong, but so we've got subconscious is your identity and beliefs, and conscious here. So if we want to make changes, the biggest change we can make is in our identity. The second biggest change is in our beliefs. However, these things are hidden out of sight, and they take a lot of work to work on. So I've got a whole program called Elite Poker Mindset, showing you how to change beliefs through thoughts to change beliefs, but we're not getting to that now. You've got to understand, if you want to get to your goals quicker, you're best off changing one of these three. Now, the mistake I made for a lot of my life, and I'm sure you guys will be able to relate to this, I try to change this one, the action. So if you look at this, right, the way to look at this, the further along this line that you try to change it, the more resistance you have pulling back. So if you try to change your actions, your behaviors, you have the resistance pulling back from all of these. So you have 4 levels of resistance. Your thoughts and emotions are pulling you the opposite way, your beliefs are pulling you the opposite way, and your identity is pulling you the opposite way. Your actions and behaviors, you're trying to pull this way, but you can't. This is why 99% of people fail when they're trying to make behavioral changes. Because they try to change the action, they try to go new morning routine, new diet, new exercise program, but they haven't changed the thoughts, emotions, beliefs, or identity. So there's too much resistance, they get pulled back, okay? So you need to understand that this is happening. So changing the actions isn't a good, it's too hard. We can do it, and like if you've got enough willpower and you really want to go for it for a long period of time, you can do it. And the reason it can work is because there's a feedback loop. So from your actions, a feedback loop, say you take consistent action long enough, gets created that links back into your identity. So for example, I just did a challenge recently, which you might have seen some of my previous videos on this, called the 4x4x48, where I ran 4 miles every 4 hours for 2 days straight. So that had me run over 40 miles in 2 days. That was not in line with my identity previous to that. But I took action consistently every 4 hours for 2 days that I shocked my identity, and the actions I took reprogrammed my identity. Now, I'm someone who can do that. I'm someone who can run every 4 hours if I need to. I'm someone who can put work in and work much harder than I thought I could. I've changed my identity by taking massive action. But that's generally the hard way to do it. It's not going to work for a lot of scenarios. So, what can we do? It's like, Adam, you're leading me down some rabbit holes here, but where are we going with this? So, the most powerful place to start is when your consciousness starts. So, with your thoughts, right here. If you can change your thoughts, that will change your emotions. They link into each other, go back and forth, but changing your thoughts allows you to control your emotions. That will change the actions you take. Do that long enough. This is going to be resisting you backwards. The old you is going to be pulling you back. The new one's going to be pulling you forward. But if you can just focus on your thoughts, forget identity, forget beliefs, just focus on your thoughts, emotions, and actions from the thought level first, you're going to start making progress. Very quickly, not very quickly, maybe a few weeks, maybe a month, that's going to create this feedback loop from your actions that's going to create a new identity. And you're going to create a new identity. That's then going to change your belief system, and you're going to sort of go, wait a second, maybe I can do this. Then all of a sudden, your identity and beliefs start to get in alignment with your goals. And then once all of them are in alignment, the goal is just like second nature. So let's do an example. Let's use the example of making 100K. 100K goal. So let's say right now, you're making 3 to 5K a month. And you're like, 100K is like a big jump. And you're like, can I do it? Can I not? Your identity is wrapped up in, I can only make 3 to 5K a month. You believe, 10K, that's more than I've ever made. I haven't seen any sign I could do that. So your identity and your beliefs are pulling you one way. As a result, you're thinking about making 5K a month rather than 10K. You think how hard it's going to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump in here. We're going to go, right, we're going to change the thoughts. We're going to start rewiring the brain on the thought level. And we're going to start thinking about only thoughts relative to making 10K. So when you see a thought that's only making 5K a month, a limiting belief thought, you don't attach yourself to it. So any of your old beliefs that come forward in the form of a thought, don't buy into it. So you just watch it, you observe it, you detach yourself from your thoughts. So the old beliefs are coming forward in your thoughts, just let it come up, let it come up. And then you start consciously choosing thoughts you want. What are the thoughts you would have? What sort of affirmations could you use to get you thinking about making 10K a month or 8K a month, whatever the breakdown is. And you start controlling your thoughts. So detach from the old thoughts and input in new ones, input in new ones, input in new ones. This is reprogramming the brain. When you're inputting new thoughts over the old ones, what happens is now you start to have new emotions. New emotions come with those thoughts. Thoughts lead to like an emotional feedback loop. Then you start taking different actions. All of a sudden you're thinking about making 10K a month. Well, what would making 10K a month look like? All right, well, I'd probably have to put more work in, probably have to study harder, grind harder, probably have to go to the gym more, probably have to eat better foods. Everything comes together and you start taking action. You start doing that long enough, all of a sudden those actions start to reprogram their identity. And you're like, wait a second, I can make 10K a month. Then your beliefs start to kick in. Oh, 10K a month, I can do that because I'm showing up and I'm putting the work in. Next thing you know, everything's in alignment and the goal is just a matter of time. So you've got to understand, like, if you're not getting to where you want in life, there's a very big chance, like, most of these steps aren't in alignment, most of them. And what you're probably making the mistake of doing is trying to change the action. You're probably trying to change the action because the action's like it looks like it's the lowest hanging fruit. It's the last step, but it's the most visible. It's like, oh, I want to get that outcome. Okay, change these behaviors. But if you don't change the thoughts and emotions, you end up back in the old pattern. Too much resistance. So remember, the further you start here, the more you get pulled back. So if you jump in on the action step, emotions pull you back, thoughts pull you back, beliefs and identity. That's too much of a strong pull for most people. It's too much of a strong pull for me in most scenarios. So you've got to go, okay, the best chance I have is to understand with clarity what I want, start with the end in mind. You then go, okay, my identity beliefs are hidden in my subconscious. I can go deep on those stuff and do some programs to rewrite those, but that's going to take a while and that's a hard way to start. But I can jump in today, right now, after watching this video, I can jump into my thought level. And I can start to go, okay, what thoughts would be in alignment with that goal? What thoughts in alignment with that goal? If I wanted to make 10K a month, what would that look like? I'd be thinking about what my routines, I'd be thinking about 10K thoughts, I'd be thinking about this and detach from the old ones. Do that long enough, change the emotions with it, change the actions that you're taking, start acting in accordance with these thoughts, and all of a sudden you're working on this feedback loop long enough, it taps into that. This will change your life if you implement this. It's the core to any fundamental changes. Any changes you want to make in any area of your life, whether it's health, diet, poker, relationships, revolves around this. So get working on this stuff, guys. It's super powerful. It will change your life if you implement it. Now, if any of you are serious about making some big changes and would like to work with me one-on-one so that we can create a new identity, new belief system in alignment with your biggest goals, I'm excited to announce I've got some spaces available in my Peak Performance Program. Just click on the link in the description, go for the application program, and see if we're a good fit to work together. Thanks for watching this, guys. Plenty more come from me very soon.